Good morning, students. I'm Dr. Dharmendra BN. Uh, Today topic is Elementary Theory of Partition, Session 1. That is in Mysore University, Theory of Partition, that is Unit 4. In this class, we are discuss about what is the definition of number of partitions of n and their graphical representation, especially that is Farray and also other graphical representation, and also the definition of conjugate uh, and self conjugate of a partition number, and also one theorem. Okay, first we have to go through the definition. The definition: a partition of a positive integer n is a finite non-increasing sequence of positive integer. Okay? And the lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda are such that it can be defined as summation I running from 1 to r lambda I is equal to n, where lambda I are called the parts of the partition. That is, when I have to take n is equal to 1, that number of partition is 1. The terms of the parts of the partition is 1. Suppose when I have to take n is equal to 2, that is non-increasing sequence. You can observe terms of that is non-increasing, that is terms of decreasing. So at 2 can be written as, we have to decrease the terms of 2, that is the partition is, next partition is, that is 1 plus 1. Therefore the number of partition is 2. So that is 2 is the parts of the partition, 1 plus 1 is also parts of the partition. So that is the definition. When I have to add the terms, that's equal to n, sum of the terms. Okay, next the definition: the partition function p of n is the number of partitions of n. You can call it as p of n is called as the partition function is the number of parts partition of n. For example, that is remark obviously p of n is equal to 0 when n is negative. You can observe terms of p of n is equal to 0 if n is a negative, and also the term of p of 0 is equal to 1 if n is equal to 0. The number of partition of 0 is 1. With observation that empty sequence forms the only partitions of 0. Okay, that is a partition of a negative number that is equal to 0. So it can be defined as p of n is equal to, you can observe the terms, number of partitions of n if n is a positive integer, p of n is equal to 0 if n is a negative integer, p of 1 is equal to 1, that is n is equal to 0. So examples of the n and partitions of n and p of n. When I have to take n is equal to 1, the number of partitions of n is only 1, and also p of n is equal to 1. Again, next term, if n is equal to 2, the 2 can be written as first partition is 2, and that is the next decreasing term is it's 1 plus 1. So therefore, if n is equal to 2, the number of partitions of n is 2 and 1 plus 1. So therefore, p of n is equal to 2. Similarly, if n is equal to 3, so it can be written as 3, and the next number is, we can decrease the number of 3, that is 2 plus 1. Again, we have to reduce the number of 2 is in terms of 1, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore, this number, that is a p of n, can be written as, that is 3. So the first term is 3, and the second one is 2 plus 1, and next one is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore, the partition of n is 3. Next one, similarly, if n is equal to 4, then partitions of n, there it can be written as 4. Next one is 3 plus 1. You can reduce the number of 4, that is 3 plus 1. Next number is, that is next number is 2. You can observe terms of, we have to subtract this one 3 by 1, that is 3 the terms is 2 plus 2. Again 2 can be written as, these 2 can be written as again 1 plus 1, that is 2 plus 1 plus 1. Again this number it can be written as 1 in terms of 1, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So overall the partition of n is 5, because the number of partitions of n is 1, that is 4, 3 plus 1, that is 2, 2 plus 2, that is 3, 2 plus 1 plus 1, that is 4, again 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 5. So therefore the number of partition of 4 is 5. Similarly, if n is equal to 5, it can be written as 5. And again the next number is, can you predict, it is 4 plus 1. Next number is, that is 3 plus 2. Again next number is 3 plus 1 plus 1, because we have to take the partition of 2. Again what is the next partition of 3 is, the terms is 2 plus 2 plus 1. You can observe here. Again next one is this partition of 2, the terms is, that is 1 plus 1, that is 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Again this partition of 2, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So overall the terms is, the number of partitions of 5, that is 7. Okay, the first term is 5, the second term is 4 plus 1, next one is 3 plus 2, that is 3, 3 plus 1 plus 1, that is 4, and this one is 5, that is 2 plus 2 plus 1, that is a 5, and this one is 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 6, and all the terms of 1, that is 7. So therefore we have to write like that the partitions of n. So we can easily predict the terms is, then the partition function increasing quite rapidly. Okay, so you can write up to the partitions of n is equal to 10. So there already written the terms of n is equal to 1 to 5. So next we have to write down the terms is, what is the partitions of n? 6, n is equal to 6, n is equal to 7, n is equal to 8, n is equal to 9, and n is equal to 10. Okay, we have to observe the table here. Suppose if n is equal to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 50, 100, we have to observe the terms, that is partition function is quite rapidly with n. So next we have to take, if n is equal to 6, that is, that number is 11. Okay, next n is equal to 7, that is 15. Next n is equal to 8, that is 22. Again next n is equal to 9, that is 30. N is equal to 10, that is 42. We can observe that next one is, how can it be jump to the terms? N is equal to 20, that is 627. The number of partitions of 20, that is 627. Here the 10 is 42. Can observe here, that is n is equal to 20, that is partition of 20, that is 627. Suppose we have to take n is equal to 50, you can observe number is, that is 2,04,022,226. Similarly, that is n is equal to 100. So you can observe the terms is quite rapidly with n. So the number of partition is more increasing. So the graphic, the next one is the very important. It's a graphical representation of partition. So very famous one is, that is in terms of array, that is in terms of a dotted line. So some authors like the remaining terms, there are to write in terms of a unit square. Instead of dot, they are using unit square. So first we have to taking in terms of array series, the graphical representation of partition. One of the effective elementary device for studying partitions is that a graphical representation, that is the graphical representation of arrays, that is lambda is equal to the parts of the n. It's a lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda up to lambda r is an array of dot in which ith row contains lambda I dots. In terms of a rows, we have to write like this. The terms is, if lambda 1 is the first one, next one is, that is increasing sequence. So another terms is decreasing sequence, non-increasing. Lambda 1 is the highest term, lambda 2 is the next one. Likewise the terms is, it is not an increasing, non-increasing terms is, and also the last term is lambda r. It is lambda 1 is less than or equal to lambda 2, the terms of, sorry, lambda 1 is greater than or equal to lambda 2, that is here lambda 2 is also greater than or equal to lambda 3 up to the terms of, that is last term is greater than or equal to lambda r. So to take that example, suppose if n is equal to 14, that is the Ferre graphs of the partitions of 14 is, that is 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, I'm sorry, that is 14. The first one, that is ith row, what we have to call the terms of ith row, that is lambda 1, that is 4. That is, we have to write like this terms of 4 dots. Next one is again 4. Next one is 3. Next one is 2. Next one is 1. For all the values, we can add the terms of 4 plus 4, that is 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 2, that is 12 plus 1, that is 14. Sorry, 13 plus 1, that is 14. So therefore, the 14 can be written as in terms of a graphical representation, that is parts of the partitions. It can be written like this in terms of a array. And also, when I have to taking the column by the terms of rows, here we have to observe here, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to interchange that in terms of column by row or row by column, that is in terms of the conjugate of that partition we have to call. Here the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, next one is 1, 2, 3. Next one is 1, 2. So we have to observe here, if the above graph is read vertically by column, okay, vertically by column, the terms is this representation of the partition is 5. You can observe here 5, 4, 3, 2. Here 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 of 14. This new representation is called as the conjugate of the given partition. Okay. To write again the terms of this one, so that column in terms of rows, that is the first one is 5, next one is 4, next one is 3, next one is 2. So therefore the conjugate of each other, the 14 can be written like this. Similarly, the next one, we write that there are several equivalent ways of forming a graphical representation. Some author use a unit squares instead of points or dots. So that graphical representation of 14, that is 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, that becomes, in terms of a unit square, you can observe here, it's the first unit square 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, next one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one is 3. Next one is 2. Next one is 1. So in terms of a unit square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. So in terms of unit square, so that refer like this. Some authors is also can be written as in terms of a up, the terms of upside to down. That is, here the first one is 1, next one is 2, next one is 3, next one is 4, next one is 1. So in terms of the reverse order, that some author they define like this: 1, 2, can hear 1, 2, next one is 3, next one is 4, next one is 4. The author preferred to represent to be the upside down in terms of a unit squares. Okay. Okay, and we have to take the next one is the definition, that's conjugate. If lambda is equal to lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda up to lambda r is the partition of n, we may define a new partition that is called as a lambda dash is equal to lambda 1 dash, lambda 2 dash, lambda 3 dash up to lambda r dash by choosing lambda I as the number of parts of lambda that are greater than or equal to I. The partition lambda dash is called the conjugate of lambda. This is what we have to take in terms of the previous one. Okay, we have to take that example. For example, I have to take n is equal to 26. The definition, we use the conjugate of the partition, that is lambda is equal to, that 26 can be written as 8 plus 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 1. That is that lambda dash then called as that is 5 plus that another representation 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1, that's equal to 26. Just we have to observe the graph, so it can be written as in terms of the conjugate, that is lambda dash. The first one, that is 26, can be written as 8. You can observe here the dots are 8, next one is 6, next one is 6, next one is 5, next one is 1. So what I have to do the terms is, when I have to interchange the terms of rows and columns, the first one is 5 here, right, 1 2 3 4 5, the first one. Next one is 4, 1 2 3 4, again 1 2 3 4, this number, again next one 1 2 3 4, here also 1 2 3 4, this number, again 1 2 3, this one, and 1 2. So therefore the conjugate of the number, that is lambda dash, is that is 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to 26. Okay, but also we have to observe that the diagonal element, the terms of here the diagonal number, that we have to observe the upside the diagonal number and below the diagonal, that's elements here the same, 1 2 3 4 here, that is the diagonal number. So below that one, that is 1 2 3 1 2 1 1. Here also we can observe here, that is the diagonal is 1 2 3 4. Here also 1 2 3 1 2 1 1. Similarly, in terms of upside, the terms is, here the diagonal is 1 2 3 4, the next number is also 1 2 3 4, again that is 4 plus 3 plus 3 2 1 plus 1 plus 1. So here also terms is 1 2 3 4, here 4 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore we can observe that the conjugate of the partition obtained by counting the dots in successive columns, that is the graphical representation of the conjugate is obtained by reflecting the graph in the main diagonal. You can observe the terms of next definition, that is a self conjugate. A partition is said to be self conjugate if identically with its conjugate. Okay, it's identically with its conjugate. When I have to interchange that rows into column, again that should be the same values. So the terms, for example, suppose n is equal to 6. So 6 can be written as, that is a 3 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, it's a self conjugate because the first one you have to write in terms of dots, there is 3 dots, next 2, next is 1. So when I have to interchange the terms of columns to rows, that can be written as, the first one is 3, next one is 2, next one is 1. You can observe that is 3 2 1. We can call this one as a self conjugate partitions. Similarly, when I have to take n is equal to, next example, n is equal to 9. 9 can be written as 3 plus 3 plus 3, that is as a self conjugate, the 3 plus 3 plus 3. When I have to interchange that is rows into column, that can be written as also 3 plus 3 plus 3. So therefore this is the definition of self conjugate. A partition is said to be self conjugate if it is identically with its conjugate. So the number is n is equal to 6 can be written as 3 plus 2 plus 1, and 9 can be written as 3 plus 3 plus 3. So these are all the example of self conjugate. Okay, next to take one theorem, that is today's the number of partition of n with utmost m part. This is the first statement, the theorem. The number of partitions of n with utmost m parts is equal to the number of parts of n in which no parts exceeds m. You can observe the terms. The first statement, the number of partition of n with utmost m part. With utmost m part. The second statement, the number of partitions of n in which no parts exceed m. So we can take the statement A is the first one. The second statement is B. Okay, we have to call like that. So we have to restrict that value of what is n. N is equal to, suppose we are taking by example. Suppose n is equal to 3 and n is equal to 2. We can observe the statement. Let n is equal to 3 and then number of partition of n is, can predict the terms 3, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore, the partition of n can be written as 3, 2 plus 3, 2 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, then the statement A. What is the statement A? Let A be the set of all partition of n. There is a number of partitions of n with at most m parts. That is, you have to restrict the terms as m is equal to 2. Okay, so 2 means okay, at most m is equal to 2 parts. M is equal to 2. That is 2 parts means no won't consider the terms of 3 parts, only 2 parts, that is 3 and 2 plus 1. So therefore A can be written as A is equal to, that is only 2 parts means at most 2 parts means that is 3, 2 plus 1. And then what is the cardinality of A? The cardinality of A means that is the number of elements in A. We can call as, let's say, to take eta of A is equal to 2. Okay, what is the statement B? The statement B is the number of partitions of n in which no parts exceed m. So we have to take here, that is n is equal to 3 and m is equal to 2. So therefore, let B be the set of all partitions of n is equal to 3 with each part is less than or equal to m, not exceeding m. That means that is less than or equal to m. That is, what is m? M is equal to 2. That means won't take that the values of m, that what is that parts of the partition won't exceed 2. So won't exceed 2 means that is only 2 parts, that is 2 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1, won't take 3. Observe the condition, with each part is less than or equal to m. Less than or equal to m means that is 2. There, that won't consider the terms of 3. So therefore the remaining terms are 2 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore the B can be written as, that is 2 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore the cardinality of B, or we have to call this one as, that is eta of B is equal to 2. So there, hence the two statements are equal, that is cardinality of A is equal to cardinality of B. So this is the example. We have to take the preliminary examples, and similarly when I have to take the next example, let n is equal to 6, that we have to choose that higher number, n is equal to 6, then the partitions of n is, that is the terms of P of n is equal to here 11, that is P of 6 is equal to 11. So the first number is 6, next number is 5 plus 1, next number is 4 plus 2, 4 plus 1 plus 1, next number is 3 plus 3, comma 3 plus 2 plus 1, next number is 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, again 2 plus 2 plus 2, next 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1, again 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, the remainings are 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So overall that numbers here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and here 10, and this one is 11. So therefore P of 6 is equal to 11. So you can observe the terms. Next, to take the statement, let A be the set of all partitions of n with at most, to restrict the terms of m here, at most 4 parts. Okay, not exceeding 4 parts, at most 4 parts. What are the at most 4 parts means? That is, A can be written as A is equal to 6, that is the first part, next 5 plus 1, next 4 plus 2, next 4 plus 1 plus 1, next 3 plus 3, next 3 plus 2 plus 1, next 3 plus 1 plus 1, that is 4 parts, at most 4 parts, not almost, that is at most 4 parts. Next 2 plus 2, that is 3 parts, next 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So therefore, so the terms is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, what are the remaining terms? If it is a 4 terms means, more than 4 terms means, we have to observe here 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, this one is the 5 parts, and the remainings are 1, that is a 6 parts. We have to observe here, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1. So we have to leaving that last 2 terms. So therefore the cardinality of A, that is equal to 9. Okay. Similarly, to take the second statement, let B be the set of all partition of n with each part is less than or equal to m, here m is equal to 4. That means we have to restrict the value of the parts of the partition not exceeding 4, not exceeding 4. Here 5 is 6 is there, won't consider the terms because each part is, that is each part means that is lambda I, that is not more than 4. Here 6 is there. Here next term is that is lambda 1. Again the terms of this 5, it is greater than 4. So won't consider this term also. That is we have to leave the first and second term. Okay. The remaining are, that is the set B. The B can be written as, that is 4 plus 2. Again 4 plus 1 plus 1. So except the first two terms, okay, except the first two terms, remaining terms are here only. The terms is because each part is less than or equal to 4. So therefore next one is 3 plus 3, next one is 3 plus 2 plus 1, next one is 3 plus 1 plus 1, next one is 2 plus 2 plus 2, again 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1, and 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, again the last ones are ones. So therefore here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So therefore the cardinality of B, that is also is equal to 9. Hence the cardinality of A is equal to cardinality of B. So this is the example for the theorem. The theorem statement is the number of parts of n with at most m part is equal to the number of parts of n in which no parts exceed m. Okay. So we have to prove by mathematically, we can consider the terms as let A be the set of all partition of n with at most m part, and let B be the set of all partitions of n with each part is less than or equal to m. So therefore if these two statements are equal, means that is that when I have to define in terms of mathematically, that is function from A to B, I have to define the terms as f of lambda is equal to, we have to observe here, we have to define the function f from A to B by f of A is equal to, sorry, f of lambda is equal to lambda dash. That means lambda belongs to A and B belongs to, lambda dash belongs to B. Here lambda belongs to A and lambda dash belongs to B. So therefore, what is lambda dash? Lambda dash is the conjugate of lambda. So it clearly shows that the terms is the given function is 1, 1 and on 2. So that means that in the statement A is equal to statement B. So that's enough for the proof. Clearly, this mapping is 1, 1 and on 2. So that is hence the theorem. So we have to prove this one by this first one. We have to take the function is 1, 1 and on 2, hence the theorem. If lambda and mu belongs to A, then it can be written as, the terms is, we have to show this one by f is 1, 1. So that means f of lambda is equal to f of mu, which implies by using what we have to define f of lambda, that is lambda dash, that is also is equal to mu dash. So when I have to take in the conjugate of these two terms, I have to apply that conjugate on both the sides. So lambda dash whole the lambda conjugate whole conjugate is equal to mu conjugate whole conjugate. So therefore that becomes lambda is equal to mu. So therefore f of lambda is equal to f of mu, which implies lambda is equal to mu. So therefore f is 1, 1. The next one we have to show that there is on to, if lambda belongs to B and lambda dash belongs to A, then f of lambda dash is equal to, what you have to define? That is lambda dash whole dash, that is f of lambda conjugate is equal to lambda conjugate that whole conjugate, that is equal to lambda. So therefore f of lambda dash is equal to lambda. So hence that is the pre-image of lambda is lambda dash, hence f is on 2. So therefore hence that is that cardinality of A is equal to cardinality of B. So hence the theorem. So we have to end this session. Please go through these videos once again. It will be easily understand the theorem. So therefore, thank you.